The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Hey guys, Liam Mookie here, and I'm back with another What If Izuku Had Archer's Powers. This is part 12. So in the last part, Izuku just got done taking on Momo and is preparing to fight Shoto. So in the semifinals. So with that said, let's get into this, shall we? With Izuku ready, just thinking about how he's going to get Shoto to use his fire side, he keeps wondering why he's so stubborn. Even though he told him, he just doesn't know why he just uses his fire side when he knows that his quirk is his. Just because he inherited it from his father doesn't mean it's his. As he even finished his chant for unlimited blade works, but he won't use it unless Shoto goes all out, just like him. So, as he readies to go, he runs into Endeavor just as usual, as Endeavor tells him, "You're that kid from the last round. Well, you seem pretty strong, I won't lie. And you're fighting against my Shoto. Well then, try to make him give it all he's got. I hate to see waste time. I hate to see him waste his potential just to act rebellious." As Izuku says, "Sir, do you ever wonder why he's acting rebellious towards you?" As he tells him, "What? Don't you know why? You're his father, and yet you don't understand why he's being rebellious? Don't you get it why he's suffering?" He says, "Why you little? Look, your son is not you. He's not supposed to be your masterpiece to defeat All Might. If you can't see that, maybe he doesn't need to use his left side. But I will fight him with everything I got, and I want him to fight me with everything he's got too." Soon after, as Endeavor gets a little bit pissed off hearing that, he wonders, what is with this kid? He arrives in the arena as Midnight introduces both Izuku and Shoto. As Izuku says, "Todoroki, I'm going to give it everything I got, so you better not hold back against me too. I'll show you how strong my quirk is." As he tells him, "Fine, Midoriya, that's all I can ask for. And I'll give it everything I have too, even if it means just using my right side." So, as President Knight gives them the signal to begin, Izuku brings out his bow, as Shoto brings out a barrage of ice at full strength, almost at full strength. As Izuku charges up one of his arrows, and it explodes the ice as a shockwave blasts both of them. As Izuku is basically using 50% of his projection and one for all stock power to shoot for the arrows. He doesn't know how much power he's using, so he needs to prepare. As Shoto shoots more and more ice at Izuku creates more and more arrows to keep the ice at distance. As explosion after explosion from the arrows detonating when the ice hits, everyone sees on how much power both of them has, as they're surprised, thinking that the two of them are evenly matched. And this comes down to a strength of endurance. And that is basically yes and no. Izuku still hasn't fully mastered One for All, even if his body is acclimated to One for All. Projection, on the other hand, hasn't. It still takes a toll on him because of One for All infusing with projection. So if Izuku keeps this up, his body will feel strained. As many people don't know this. Not even Izuku himself knows how much pressure he's putting on his body due to all the projections that he creates using One for All and all the But even so, he's still willing to give it his all just to allow Shoto to use his fire side. After arrow after arrow and after arrow hits the ice volley, Izuku's body starts feeling the strain of each and every shot that Izuku has made. As he feels wobbly, as everyone begins to notice this, as Shoto says, "Midoriya, you've held out pretty long. I have to appreciate that. Even looking at my father, he's pretty pissed right now. I guess it's time for me to put an end to this." As a strong volley of ice begins getting straight at Izuku, as President Mike begins thinking that this is the end for him, Izuku creates a sword and destroys the ice coming at him, pushing Shoto back a few bit before making ice to cover, keeping himself steady. Soon after, everyone sees Izuku's hand as it looks like Excalibur. However, it isn't. As even Momo realizes that isn't Excalibur, and it's smaller. It looks smaller and a lot more thinner than Excalibur. Soon after, Shoto realizes before it's too late. Izuku created Caliburn. Instead of the original, Caliburn was the sword chosen. As Izuku explains, "Shoto, you know that this sword, Excalibur was the sword that King Arthur used to show his strength as king. However, there was a sword before he had Excalibur, the sword that chose him to be king, and that was Caliburn. I realized that Caliburn is the weaker version of Excalibur. So, I decided to make a nerf version of it, being Caliburn itself. Sure, I may be holding myself back right now, but you're doing the same, so it's only justified that I hold myself back for you, don't you think? Everyone here," as Shoto begins, "are you trying to mock me?" As he says, "No, you're the one mocking everyone else here, only using your right side. Everyone here is giving it everything they got to become number one, to become heroes. And you thinking you can only beat me with just your right side? So if you're gonna hold yourself back, I'll beat you by holding myself back. If you don't, you're never going to win against me. So give me everything you got, Todoroki. I'll take it on head on without even trying." As Shoto begins getting pissed. "What? Did my father bribe you or something, Midoriya? Are you really trying to piss me off?" As he rushes at him, as Izuku puts away Caliburn and his bow, and creates two Kenshiro and Bakuya blades. And instead of just running at Shoto with them, he actually charges them up with stock power and throws them right at him, exploding on detonation, with him running at Shoto with One for All using only 5% and punching him straight in the gut, showing how much power he has. Shoto falls backwards after the impact, getting more and more angry and pissed at seeing this. He releases more and more ice at him as Izuku realizes that it's a lot more slower, and realize he can just shoot regular arrows at it now without even regular arrows with only 5% of one for all, keeping his distance. Not only that, he's also using full cow to dodge the attacks easily without even trying. However, using projection and one for all full cow at the same time is causing a strain on Izuku's body. He never used so much. He knows that his body is pretty much reaching its limit, but he doesn't care. He has to give it his all, no matter what it takes. As everyone began surprising, saying that, hey, wasn't Midoriya at his limit before? It doesn't even look like he's tired anymore. Even Kaminari and Kirishima saying, as everyone is wondering, yeah, was it just an act? Probably just to get Todoroki off guard? As not only that, Momo tells him, no, he was tired. I can tell. By the way he was fighting me, he was giving it his all. And I also believe his body isn't used to his quirk, as him using his quirk so much. As Bakugo says, you're pretty perceptive. As Bakugo tells them, Deku has never used too many projection at once. He's always used them like at least 2 to 3 times a day. But he's been using projections non-stop all day. Knowing him, his body is at its limit. He's never, as everyone knows, oh yeah, you're childhood friends with Midoriya, Bakugo. So you pretty much know way much more. As Bakugo begins thinking to himself, not only that, he's never reached this kind of level of potential before. Oh, it's like almost a short time since he's gotten this strong. And how? Soon after, Izuku keeps getting closer and closer to Shoto and dealing more and more punches while also keeping his distance. As he tells him, as Izuku begins going on the ground, reaching his body reaching his limits, as his muscles and bones feel so much pain. As another ice volley comes at him, Izuku can't create one of his swords in time, so he decides to go to Plan B and creates a red spear and stores it up with stock power and throws it right between the ice and Shoto, creating a huge explosion, pushing both of them and blasting both of them. As Shoto stops himself once more, Izuku struggles to even get up, wondering why are you pushing yourself this far? Why? Are you trying to kill yourself? As Izuku runs after him, holding on, creating another spear with using full cow, as he says, I want to be the hero that smiles in the face of danger, that tell everyone that it'll be all right. That's the kind of hero I want to be. Everyone here has supported me so far to get me this far. So that's why I'm giving it my all, no matter what. As he hits him with the spear without impaling him, knocking him over to the side, telling him, just like you should be. You have no right. If you want to reject your father so much, fine, I don't care. But you have no right to call yourself number one. If you think you can beat me with just by holding yourself back. If you think you can't beat me with only using your right side. As Shoto keeps hearing this over and over again, he reminds him of his past and the suffering he's gone through, everything he went through to get this far. However, as Izuku gets to him again, charges up his spear once more and throws it right at Shoto, blasting him away once more, saying, "That's why I'll beat you. I will surpass you, no matter what." As saying this, he begins thinking, if he's really going to hold himself back, I guess there is no reason for me to use my trump card after all. As Shoto begins thinking about using his fire, he keeps reminding himself, I will never use his quirk. That is final. As Izuku shouts out, "You idiot! It's yours! Your quirk, not his! Don't you get it?" As he says this word, Shoto begins releasing his flames subconsciously after remembering what his mother told him as a kid. As everyone sees flames swarming around the arena, Izuku begins smiling as he says, "So this is really what you want? You really wanted me to give it everything I got to beat you. Is that it? Is that truly what you wanted, Midoriya? Yeah. It isn't a real fight if you hold yourself back. You can't call yourself number one if you don't give it your all." As Endeavor begins saying what he normally said in canon, that he is his masterpiece, that he will surpass him, it's the very reason why he was born. As Shoto began having a single tear out of his right eye. However, Izuku said, "Ignore him, Todoroki. This is between just you and me, no one else. So you ready?" "Yeah. So I guess I gotta stop holding back as well. I guess it's time for me to unleash this." Izuku closes his eyes and whatever weapon he had, it disappears. As he begins saying these words, "I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unaware of loss nor aware of gain. Withstood pain to create weapons, waiting for one's arrival. I have no regrets. This is my only path. My whole life was unlimited blade works." Soon after, the entire field begins swarming with swords, blades, spears, and axes everywhere, as everyone's surprised. But there's one difference. Instead of the barren wasteland feeling of swords, there's actually a grassy meadow filled with a bright blue sky with the sun shining down on Izuku. As he says, "This is my world. This is this is how I see my future as a hero. No matter what every weapon I have seen, created, and made is here. This is my trump card. My unlimited blade works, Todoroki." As both of them are ready to give it everything they got to defeat one another. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me, you guys watching this. Also, comment below what you guys think, and also subscribe to keep up with my other videos as well. At any rate, this is Leon Mookie signing out. Later.